The biggest and most common mistake I see guitarists making when they are trying to strum rhythms on the guitar is not understanding what strumming direction they need their hand to be going in. This leaves rhythms being approximated instead of crisp, and some pieces that could be well within your grasp to play feel way harder and inaccessible. So if the thought of having exactly the right picking direction so you get a crisp, accurate rhythm in your playing strikes a chord with you, then let's drum up some ideas. Okay, that pun was terrible, but if you're up for it, let's get down to business. The first thing to understand conceptually when it comes to strumming is your movement is going to dictate the rhythm. If you've got the wrong movement, your rhythm is going to change to match the movement. What we want is to pick the correct movement so that the rhythm is pulled into the movement we are using. That way, you'll be getting the exact movement you want and the exact rhythm you want every single time. It's also important to understand that our concept of time is extremely inaccurate. You'll understand this from if you're waiting for the bus and it says 2 minutes on the timer, it can feel like an hour for it to arrive. But if you're at an event, a party that you're absolutely loving, then 3-4 hours is going to pass by like a flash. We have very limited idea of time. But if you walked from one side of the room to the other and did this 100 times over, you might not know exactly how long it took you to do that each time, but that will become extremely consistent and down to the 1/10 of a second of the time you'll be able to walk backwards and forwards across the room. This is because your movement gets consistent and that ends up with a very consistent time. This is what we want for rhythm. If, on the other hand, we are trying to consider the time, calculate the time in our minds, we are bound to be extremely inaccurate with it. So let's get your movement leading your rhythm rather than your concept of time. How we do this is we subdivide the beat. The standard would be into 4. That means one beat is divided into 4 different sections. If it's a really slow piece, you could divide this into 2. If it's a really fast piece, sure, you can divide this into 8. But for most music, you can have a subdivision of 4. If you have 4 beats in the bar, that means you have 4 of these beats subdivided in a row. Of course, if your piece is 3 beats in a bar, you've got 3 of these, but the standard is going to be subdivide the beat into 4, and then you have 4 of these across a bar. Now, let's number these subdivisions. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to make it far easier for us to know which side of the beat we're talking about. We alternate going down and up with our pick. So number 1 and number 3 are going to be down, whereas 2 and 4 are going to be up. So if I demonstrate that here, I've got 1 as down, 2, then 3, then 4, which is alternating up and down. Simple so far, but this is the bit that people make the mistake on. You never want your hand moving and then waiting until the next note, because each empty box that doesn't have a note in, you still want to be moving on. So if I'm just playing a note at the beginning of the beat, you'll see my hand keeps moving up and down for the next 4. This way, we have a consistent movement in our arm like a metronome, and we're missing the notes that we're not playing, but the movement is still there. Now, all we need to do when we have extra notes to play is pass the strings and hit them on the way by instead of missing them. So now I'm going to put some dots in the different beats that I'm going to be playing, and you can follow where I'm missing the strings and where I'm playing them, and of course, pause as you go to try this out yourself. So if I have a beat that is 1 and 4, I've got 1, miss, miss, 4. Now if I loop this, of course 4 will go straight back to 1. So I've got 1, miss, miss, 4, 1, miss, miss, 4. Then we can repeat this in a loop. Now if we want to add beat 2 into this, we're going to have 1, 2, miss, 4. And it's going to sound like this. While demonstrating, you're going to see me moving far more robotically than normal. That is just so you can see clearly what's happening with the picking direction with the stroke. When you're playing, when you're relaxing into it, of course, you want to smooth this out and make it less robotic. So now let's add a few more beats to it. Let's do 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, and then the last beat 1. This gives us a 4-beat bar, and it's going to sound like this. As you can see, my hand is moving consistently throughout. If you muted the sound, you would just see it moving up and down. Then, when I want to play the strings, you can see I get the notes in with a consistent movement. My hand, the movement, like we said at the beginning, is governing the rhythm. I'm not needing to count out or try and approximate the rhythm. This is exactly what's going to give you a really crisp sound on exactly the rhythm you want without needing to count, without needing to have all of the issues of an approximated sound. This is exactly what is going to get your movement driving the rhythm you're playing instead of an approximate idea of the rhythm and the timing. And it's going to get rid of all of the common mistakes I see so many people doing that have the rhythms tripping up over themselves, or some notes are too long, some are too short. All of the things that stop you pushing forward your guitar playing to that next level that you absolutely want to hit. So then the question is, what happens when the piece is faster than this subdivision of 4? Very simply, at the section it speeds up, you just need to double the speed your hand is moving and have a subdivision of 8. Then, when that fast section's gone, you can bring it back down to your standard subdivision of 4. As you can see, when there's a faster section, a few more chords we're fitting into the beat, all I'm needing to do is double the speed of my arm, and then I pull straight back to my standard subdivision of 4. Now you've got the concept of exactly which is going to be an upstroke, which is going to be a downstroke when you're strumming. The next bit for you to get used to is when you're listening to a rhythm, knowing where that is along the beat. Is the chord you're playing on number 1? Is it on number 3? Where does that fit into the subdivision? This is where the numbers become really useful because you can start to name the rhythms. It could be a 1-2-4, it could be a 1-3-4, it could be a 1-4, a 2-3, any of those combinations. As you hear it, you'll start to be able to recognize which pattern that's falling into. When you've got this, your ability to listen to a piece of music and understand exactly what rhythm they're playing and how to play that yourself on your guitar will absolutely speed up to the point where you can just play it straight if you've heard it. So if you've got a friend who never puts the chords in the right place in the music and they haven't been listening to you, maybe they'll listen to me. Share this video with them, like, subscribe, all of the good stuff. It really helps the channel grow and get out to new people, more people who are learning, trying to push forward their guitar playing. And if you want to see a video about how to strum without a plectrum and just using your hand instead, check out this video over here where I break down exactly what you need to understand to do that. I'll see you in there.